Happy Tuesday, my friends. I have another story for you this afternoon that is not only a trigger warning, but it is one that is going to make you completely sick to your stomach. A mother and her husband are behind bars this afternoon after being charged with a multitude, a multitude of charges, including CA, SA, and starvation of a child. We don't even know how old she is, but this torture that I'm going to get into, and it is torture, has been going on for at least 3 years. This freaking monster right here is 34-year-old Daniel Ray Kaler of Rogers, Arkansas. Now, when I tell you everything that he has been charged with and what he has been doing to this little girl, you are going to be sick to your stomach. Oh, and this beaut right here is his wife, 28-year-old Annie Claire Carler. Now, like I said, the two are behind bars this afternoon, being held in the Benton County Detention Center with charges facing everything from ape with an R. I don't know what words I can and cannot say. So, endangering the welfare of a child in the first degree, SA, permitting the abuse of a child, introduction to a controlled substance of a child, permitting CA, battery, and literally the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So in April, this little girl, again, we don't know what her age is, went to a school counselor after being tortured for 3 years and finally opened up to what this house of horrors is that she has been living in. She said she finally could not live with the guilt of this anymore. You guys, this is so sad. Thinking that what was happening to her and what had been happening to her from August 20th until March 23rd was her fault. Now, mind you, this little girl just came to her counselor this past April of this past year, and these two scumbags were finally arrested on May 9th. I want to let you all know that I have put in through the Freedom of Information Act a request for the probable cause affidavit. Have not received that yet, so all that I'm getting is through a local news channel who does in fact have that affidavit. Now, again, trigger warning. This little girl was aped with an R for 3 years. Again, like I said, from August of 2020 to March of 2023. This took place in Benton and Washington counties in Arkansas. Now, according to this affidavit, this was a calculated and prolonged pattern of cruelty and torture for this little girl. Apparently, she was forced to sleep in the bathtub with no pillow, no sheets, no blanket, nothing. And she was fed one Pop-Tart and one glass of water a week. A week. In addition, she actually broke her leg. Now, did she break it or did that monster break it? But they just ignored it and she had to heal on her own. This child never had any medical attention, never went to the doctor, was never taken care of if she was sick, hurt, anything. Never. Now, the mother, if you want to call her that, actually witnessed 2 of the times that her daughter was being SA'd by this monster. Okay. In the first one, he screamed at her to get out, and she did, but apparently they talked about it. And he said to her, if you ever tell anybody about this, I'm going to kill you. So she didn't. The second time, she saw her little girl being dragged by her hair through the house into the living room, okay, and started being SA'd. The mother then pulled her daughter up and they ran outside. Now, mind you, the whole time, every time this little baby girl was being SA'd, she was screaming at the top of her lungs, no help, no help. I mean, as a mother, can you imagine hearing that and doing nothing and yet still living in the house with this freaking monster? Oh, and the mother, yeah, it gets better. She once stabbed her daughter in the neck with a fork because she didn't do the dishes good enough. Oh, and let's not forget about the four times that the mother and her husband, because we do not know what the relationship is with this monster man. I don't even want to call him a man. 4 separate times that they actually fed her rugs. They forced her to the Coca-Cola. They forced her to use the Fent and several others. 4 times, this little girl. And watch her as she did it. Now, if y'all want to know my opinion on this, first of all, the counselor is a hero, and I'm just so glad that this little girl went and felt comfortable enough to talk to her counselor. But if you want to know my opinion, these monsters, this scumbag, they deserve the death penalty. That's just what I think, the DP, all the way. Anyone who does this to a child does. That's my opinion. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. I am going to be continuing to follow this case. Like I said, I do have an FOIA out there, and we'll be reading that. It will probably break my heart. But as soon as I know more information on this, I will keep you guys posted. Let me know what you guys think. Discuss in the comments below.